This is Barry Zalma. No insurance talk today. Today, it's time to let you know why I am, with Thanksgiving Day coming on, thankful. My family and I have much to be thankful for this year, not the least of which is the care provided by our cardiologist who takes care of me and my wife, Thea. I am personally in good health, walking 4 to 5 miles a day, and in retirement working only 6 to 8 hours a day doing what I love the most, writing about insurance, insurance claims, insurance law, and acting as an insurance claims consultant and expert witness. To me, I am also thankful for you, my friends, clients, and readers of Zalma's Insurance Fraud Letter, my blog Zalma on Insurance, and my books and other writings, including the new 3rd edition of the 10-volume treatise, Zalma on Insurance Claims. As a first-generation American, I am honored to join with all Americans the ability to celebrate Thanksgiving that started when the United States was a dream and just a colony of Great Britain, to give thanks for the good things in life at least once a year. It took Abraham Lincoln, our greatest president, to make it an official holiday. The Thanksgiving holiday gives me and my family the opportunity to consider the blessings my family and I have received, and to thank all of you who have made it possible. Please allow me this opportunity to explain to you all the things I and my family can give thanks for. 1. I have loved my wife of 54 years since we first met when she was 9 and I was 12. I am thankful that she still loves me and lets me make clear every day that I love her more now than I did when she ignored me when I was 12. I'm thankful for my 3 adult children who are successes in their own right. That my 3 children, my almost 5-year-old granddaughter, live nearby, put up with my wife and I, and are healthy, successful, and mostly happy in what they do. That my grandson is now a successful college student at Puget Sound University in Washington State. My clients who, for more than 54 years, have allowed me to earn a living doing what I love, practicing law until I let my license go inactive, acting as a consultant, testifying as an expert witness, and writing materials to help others provide excellence in claim services as members of the insurance profession. My publishers, the American Bar Association, Full Court Press, Fastcase.com, Thomson Reuters, and Amazon.com, for letting me get my writing out to the world. My dearly departed parents and grandparents for having the good sense to leave the Ottoman Empire at the beginning of the 20th century so that we could avoid the Holocaust and be born as Americans. My country for giving me a place to live and work in peace and complain about it without fear. The state of California, where I was born and will continue to live and have lived for 79 years, for allowing me to have my home and grow my family and the ability to pay the high taxes for the privilege. Those of you who read what I write and gain something from it, 79 years of mostly good health, but for a small heart attack and clogged arteries, that gave me the ability to continue to work, albeit at a reduced rate, allowing me the health and ambition to avoid my cardiologist, by walking every day and working on my garden and its bonsai. The hundreds of friends I have never met, but with whom the internet has allowed me to communicate in parts of the world I've never visited. The wonder of the internet that allows me to publish ebooks, Zalma's insurance fraud letter, and my blog instantly and online. That my family can get together to express our thanks for each other and our happiness this year again, without a need for anything but enjoying each other's company. And that most of you, who I know only by my publications, can also gather with your families to express your thanks. When I enlisted in the U.S. Army in 1967 to avoid the draft, I volunteered to serve anywhere in the world other than Vietnam, and was sent with the wisdom only the U.S. Army Intelligence Corps could understand to Peoria, Illinois, where I became a special agent in charge of an office investigating people who sought security clearances. I was trained to be an investigator and enjoyed every minute of the job. Until the Army, I had never seen a river without a concrete bottom, only to see the mighty Mississippi as my first real river. I had never seen snow other than in the distance on mountains, only to find myself shoveling the snow off the driveway in the small half of a house I rented from an old couple who could not do it themselves. My investigative assignments required me to travel throughout central Illinois, from the Iowa to the Indiana borders. I stopped at courthouses along the way, all of which had signs that Abraham Lincoln had practiced law there. Those experiences with the courts, law enforcement officers, and court personnel probably gave me the incentive to become a lawyer. When I finished my 3-year enlistment, I returned home, proposed marriage to the love of my life, who accepted. I began the study of law at night and found my first real job where I could use the skills I learned in the Army. I was hired as a claims trainee at the Fireman's Fund Insurance Company, who spent the time and effort to train me to be an excellent claims adjuster. The training was, unlike what is done at modern insurers, thorough. I was required to read a treatise on insurance and insurance claims handling. I was sent out with experienced adjusters in all types of insurance Fireman's Fund wrote, and eventually allowed to deal with the public under close supervision. Contrary to what was done in the insurance industry at the time, Fireman's Fund allowed me to study at night while I worked as a full-time insurance adjuster. I was fortunate enough to work for a claims manager, Coleman T. Mobley, who did not require me to go out of state to adjust major storm claims if it interfered with my law school studies. Since I was in law school 50 weeks a year, the only storm duty I was required to work was a firestorm that burned from the San Fernando Valley to the ocean at Malibu. Because of Mr. Mobley and the Fireman's Fund, I was able to complete my studies and pass the California bar in 1971, and allowed to be admitted to the California bar on January 2, 1972. I took a cut in pay to get my first job as an associate attorney with a law firm that was willing to teach me to be a lawyer, handling every kind of problem a new lawyer could face, from wills, tort claims, divorce, drunk driving trials, depositions, and dozens of orders to show cause in multiple courts around the Inland Empire of California. By doing so, when I started practicing law in 1972, I became a lawyer who could deal with any issue brought to me. I was fortunate enough to move to an insurance law firm in Century City, which is a major portion of Los Angeles City, where I was assigned to a coverage lawyer who was trying to deal with over 500 active matters. When I arrived, he assigned me 250 of those matters and pointed me to the firm's library to learn what to do. I got no instruction, no help. I just did it. At that time, new technology was the IBM Selectric typewriter that could erase errors from the keyboard without the need to use whiteout paint. I did legal research in the firm's large library, which, when it was inadequate for the task, I had to drive to the county law library in downtown Los Angeles. Research in a large library took days to find support for an issue. I needed 3 professional legal secretaries using those brand new IBM Selectrics to keep up with my dictation. Now, using modern technology, I can do the same legal research in 30 minutes on fastcase.com, need no secretary, and can operate my consulting, writing, training, and publishing businesses with no employees. In 1979, I decided it was time to be my own boss. I started a law firm called Zalma Inc. with a secretary who came from the last firm where I worked and brought her own IBM Selectric typewriter with her into a small windowless office. I had obtained a line of credit from a bank that I hoped would carry us until the practice started, since the only case I had was my sister's rear-ender from which I could not take a fee. The office was furnished with a file cabinet from my father-in-law's dental practice and a dining room table from my wife's grandmother who had passed away that I used as a desk. I received my first call at 8:10 a.m. on the first day, October 1, 1979, and my practice began with my first case from the underwriters at Lloyd's in London. I had nothing to do on October 3, 1979, so I wrote an article for publication. After that, I had no peace, and the firm quickly grew to 9 lawyers and a staff to serve them all, defending people who were insured and acting as coverage counsel for insurers who needed advice and defense of bad faith suits. I was more successful than I ever expected. I, whose experience was limited to Los Angeles County and central Illinois, found a need to travel to Taipei, Taiwan to take an examination under oath, and London, England for depositions and other matters on behalf of my clients. I worked as I had learned from my father, who survived the Depression, about 16 hours a day, 6 or 7 days a week. And that is what I did throughout my practice until when I became 75 years old. My firm had been reduced to a sole practice, and I decided it was time to stop practicing law and become a consultant and fulfill my childhood dream to be an author. I am a very lucky and happy man. I do work that I love. It's not really work. I fulfilled my childhood dreams. I live in a home I have owned for more than 45 years that my wife and I adapted and increased in size as children were born to meet our needs. I have the love of my life with me and look forward to celebrating our 55th wedding anniversary next month. I am honored that my eldest daughter has come back to live with us and care for my wife and I, who are not as able to do everything we used to do. I have 3 wonderful children, 2 great grandchildren, all live close. My son shares my office building and has time to visit with me as allowed by his busy schedule. I hope on this Thanksgiving weekend that you can join my family and me, remembering that it is more important to think about our blessings and those things that we have to be thankful for than to get in line for Black Friday to buy an inexpensive flat-screen TV or tablet. Enjoy the holiday and enjoy your family, as I will enjoy the holiday and my family.